It was a quiet morning in a beautiful green valley. The sky was bright, the air was fresh, and the birds were singing happily in the trees. In that peaceful valley lived many animals. Among them were a donkey and a goat. The donkey was strong, but a little slow. He liked to walk around the fields and enjoy the peaceful life of the valley. The goat, on the other hand, was very active and clever. She loved climbing small hills and exploring new places. Even though they were different, the donkey and the goat often met near a small path that went through the forest. Sometimes they talked for a few minutes, and sometimes they simply walked quietly together. One day, the morning started just like any other day. The sun was shining and the sky was clear. The donkey decided to take a long walk through the forest path. As he walked slowly, he enjoyed the calm sound of the wind moving through the leaves. After walking for a while, he saw the goat standing near a small hill. She was looking at the sky with a worried face. The donkey walked closer and asked, "Why do you look worried today?" The goat replied, "I think it might rain soon. The clouds are starting to gather." The donkey looked up at the sky. At first, the sky looked normal, but slowly dark clouds began to appear. The wind also started to blow a little stronger. "Maybe you're right," said the donkey. But the donkey was not very worried. He thought the rain might not be very strong, so he continued walking slowly along the path. The goat followed him for a while. Both animals kept moving through the forest. The trees were tall, and the ground was covered with soft grass. After some time, the sky became darker and darker. The birds stopped singing and flew back to their nests. Suddenly, a loud sound of thunder came from the sky. Boom! The donkey jumped a little in surprise. The goat quickly said, "The rain is coming. We should find a place to stay dry." Just a few moments later, big drops of rain started falling from the sky. At first, it was only a little rain, but soon the rain became heavy. The forest path became wet and slippery. The goat quickly ran toward a small rocky area nearby. She knew that there was a small cave there where animals sometimes stayed during storms. She turned around and shouted to the donkey, "Come this way, there's a cave here." The donkey tried to walk faster, but because he was slow and the ground was slippery, it was difficult for him. By the time he reached the cave, the rain was already very strong. Water was falling from the sky like a curtain. Inside the cave, it was dry and safe. The goat stood near the entrance and watched the heavy rain outside. The donkey stood outside for a moment, completely wet and tired. The goat looked at him and felt sorry for him. She quickly moved to the side and said kindly, "Please come inside. There's enough space for both of us." The donkey slowly walked inside the cave. Water was dripping from his back, but he felt much better now that he was out of the rain. "Thank you," he said softly. The goat smiled admiringly and said, "There's no need to thank me. We should help each other." Outside, the rain continued to fall. The wind moved the trees back and forth, and thunder could still be heard in the distance. The donkey sat down quietly and watched the rain. After a few minutes, he said, "I did not expect the rain to be so strong today." The goat nodded and replied, "Sometimes the weather changes quickly. That is why it is good to be prepared." For a while, both animals stayed silent. They simply listened to the sound of the rain hitting the ground and the leaves. After some time, the donkey started to feel a little cold. The goat noticed this and said, "Don't worry, the rain will stop soon. Storms never last forever." The donkey smiled a little and said, "You are very wise." The goat laughed gently and replied, "I just pay attention to nature." Time passed slowly as they waited inside the cave. The rain slowly became lighter. The thunder moved farther away. After a while, the dark clouds began to move away and a soft light appeared in the sky. The rain finally stopped. The forest looked fresh and clean. Drops of water were shining on the leaves like tiny diamonds. The donkey stepped outside the cave and took a deep breath of the cool air. "It feels wonderful after the rain," he said. The goat walked beside him and looked at the bright sky. "Yes," she said, "sometimes the storm helps the world become fresh again." The donkey looked at the goat with gratitude. "I am very thankful that you shared the cave with me. If you had not helped me, I would have stayed in the rain for a long time." The goat smiled kindly. "That is what friends do. We help each other when times are difficult." The donkey thought about her words for a moment. "Then I hope we can always be friends." The goat happily nodded. "Of course," she said. From that day on, the donkey and the goat became very good friends. They often walked together through the valley and the forest. Whenever the sky became cloudy, the donkey would remember the day of the big rain and the kindness of the goat. And the goat was always happy to see that the donkey had learned something important. Both animals understood that life is easier and happier when we care for one another. The valley remained peaceful, the birds continued singing, and the donkey and the goat enjoyed many more days walking together under the wide blue sky.